South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. I'm actually kind of blending in with the monitor in the back with that Triple J in my jersey. I didn't realize it was going to match this morning. I'm Jeff Parles, Alex White alongside. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. A packed show for us today, but I am pretty confident we can get it done in 60 minutes.
You know what? If we go over, it's okay. There's the one good thing about streaming to YouTube. There's no set time.
That's right.
If we happen to go 45 minutes, we go 45 minutes. We happen to go an hour and a half like we did yesterday, we go an hour and a half. Looks pretty good, all things considered here. Here at the new digs here at the South Point Studio. As you mentioned it, we got a packed show. Chris Andrews is going to be in studio with us, 10:40, 10:45. We'll get his perspective on the Stanley Cup playoffs that will get rolling officially tomorrow. Alex and I will also reveal our Stanley Cup champion entering the weekend. I don't know if you have your NBA champion yet, but I will at least reveal mine entering the weekend with the NBA playoffs. Again, tell you this, NBA playoffs, it's not gonna be quite like the NCAA tournament where there was no upsets whatsoever, but we're gonna end with chalk. That's all I'll say on the
I
NBA
have to
side
agree
of
with that.
on that. And you know what? We got a lot of baseball to get to, and you know what? I'm gonna make it dramatic. We're gonna put the headset on dramatically here this morning. Joining us right now, right out of the gate here on the show here this morning. You see him on SGPN. You see him on Rhythm. It's our good friend Adam Rosenberg joining us right now from the East Coast. Adam, good morning. It's good afternoon for you. Good morning from us here in Las Vegas.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I was when you were talking about the NHL playoffs, Jeff, I was wondering when it was going to get to somehow you thinking the Devils were going to make a run, but
not quite. But I will tell you, if people watched the show last week, I was scalded by one of our scolded, I should say, not scalded. Dwayne didn't throw hot coffee on me. I was going to say, he just scolded me, I should say, for picking the team that I am going to end up picking to raise the cup. So if you watched last Friday, I kind of gave it away, but we'll see how the path it is to make some history, to say the very least, on the NHL side. No, I have the Devils losing in 5 in round 1. I'll spoil that right away.
Yeah, so do I. I have them getting mopped.
Yeah, no Jack Hughes, big problem against Carolina. All right,
huge.
You're betting baseball every day, Adam. So let's get into it, and let's start at Wrigley here today. It's Colin Rea and Corbin Burns here, your pitching matchup at Wrigley for this one. Diamondbacks are a slight favorite. The market has really bet the Cubs. Oh, I still love that. Love that little audio visual we got on the screen there. But Adam, you are a big fan of this Cubs team moving forward and today in this one.
Yeah. So also the other thing that's starting today is you get those Wrigley wins.
Yes, you
going
do.
out. That's why this game is not being played on the moon.
Yeah, we got an 11 and a half on the total.
Of 11 and a half. I like the Cubs today. Corbin Burnes is there's some serious things that are wrong with Corbin Burnes. He's gone from 80th percentile in walks to 18th. He's lost velocity on his fastball. He signed late in the offseason, which to me was a little bit of a flag. I also, Snell signing early, I think took a lot of money away from Burnes, but I don't like Burnes right now. There's a couple plays within this game. I like the Cubs today. I like Kyle Tucker to get a steal. And I also, I like the Cubs right now to win the division, and it's at a minus number. And the reason why is because I think it's around minus 120, minus 130. If you look at the rest of this division, the Cubs are going to buy. They have, I believe, the 6th or 5th highest payroll in baseball. They're going to buy pieces that they need. They're rumored to be getting Sandy Alcantara because now that Justin Steele has gone down. Andrew Heaney would be a great fit for them. This is not a team that's going to stand pat at the trade deadline, but you can't say the same thing about the Pirates or the Reds or even the Brewers, any other teams in that division. I think that this number is going to be minus 250 by the time we get to June, and betting futures becomes a who's going to buy and who isn't going to buy. This Cubs lineup 1-9 is probably one of the best in baseball, especially with that addition to Kyle Tucker. So give me the Cubs today. Give me the Cubs for the division. They only probably need 88, 89 wins to win it too.
I really do like that. You brought up Sandy Alcantara. He's pitching today against the Phillies here. Really good pitching matchup. Zach Wheeler on the other side. How'd you attack this one?
So I asked my Gen Z friends, what does it mean when a pitcher is going to come out and have a good performance? And they said he's going to shove. And I think that Zach Wheeler is going to shove today. This is a really good spot for him. He's had 2 not so great starts, but he still went 6+ innings. I think he's going to dominate this Marlins team. They don't work counts. They don't walk. They don't get on base. And their hitting is very erratic. Sandy's also had a pretty high hard hit rate this season. Wheeler's 11-4 against this Marlins team with an ERA 2.3. This is just a really good spot for the Phillies. I got him on the run line. I like Wheeler on his over outs. Wheeler's still probably one of those guys that you should be looking at for Cy Young. I think Hunter Green is the best pitcher right now in the NL. But Wheeler's got that bridesmaid narrative that's going to work a lot of times, that he's always been second place and he really hasn't slowed down. So find him probably for Cy Young, but definitely back him today, both on the outs and with the Phillies on the run line.
Adam, I just want to ask you, because the next game features the team that is currently leading the NL East, that you and Alex are on the same side in the Met Cardinal game. But I just want to ask you about the NL East real quick, because the Braves have gotten off to this horrific start. They're 5-13, and Adam, we talked during the offseason. A lot of us thought that this was going to be as good of a 3-horse race as we've ever seen in this NL East. And look, everyone's kind of just middling around right now. Only the Mets would make the postseason. But how has your tune changed on this division? With, again, 18 games and 162 is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But when it's the first 18, it gets magnified like it has for Atlanta.
This past weekend, I started getting worried about the Braves. And I understand that Spencer Strider brought a little bit of a jolt. They're going to get Acuna back, but this isn't the same Acuna that produces runs, because he's not going to be stealing. He's said that this is his second ACL tear. It's not a good idea for him to do that. I'm getting a little worried also because this team isn't really in a position to buy a bunch of guys. They have all their young guys locked up on contracts. They have Sean Murphy, who isn't a young guy, locked up on a contract. Everybody on this team, they don't really have a ton of things to trade, and they're going to need to buy to kind of get and catch up with folks. So I am actually starting to get worried about this team. Part of the reason why I do think that the Phillies and the Mets also are just so much further ahead of the Braves is, again, back to this main thing, is that I don't think that the Braves are going to be able to buy, and they're not going to be able to catch up with the Phillies and Mets team. A Mets team that's going to have a healthier rotation because they're going to get their A's twins of Montas and Manaea, for those of us who have any Oakland ties whatsoever and enjoy that. And the Phillies are, again, Dombrowski's not going to stand pat, and he's probably going to make some moves too. I just don't see the same path going for the Braves, and it's they're going to lose. It's sort of like when you do any of the contests and you start to get to a point in the season where you have to pick games you don't want to pick because you're making up ground. I don't know how the Braves are going to make up ground when the Phillies and Mets are just probably going to get better.
I definitely like those two. I do think it's a 2-horse race now for that division. But with the game today, Cardinals on the road against the Mets. Jeff said we're on the same side. I like the Cardinals. They've just been hitting lefties, and we have a lefty on the mound in David Peterson for the Mets. So maybe not a pitching advantage, but I do like this lineup for the Cardinals. Is that where you're at with this nice plus 150?
Yeah, I actually went even a little more degen as we do at SGPN. I did the run line for the Cardinals at mine. It got a plus 250 at the minus 1.5. Don't think that this game is actually even going to be close.
Wow.
Reverse
you know
run
how many
line.
times the Cardinals have only lost back-to-back games twice this season, and both of them were in the first week of the season. And they had a bad stretch when they came out right away. The Mets have only won back-to-back games twice in the season. In terms of pocket periods, Miles Mikolas stunk on the road against the Red Sox. Sunday Night Baseball game off a doubleheader, very weird spot. He was pretty solid actually against the Phillies for a couple innings. He does have a FIP of 2.61, so I don't hate him. His hard hit rate is pretty low, which I actually really do like when you are playing against the Mets in New York. This is going to counter a lot of the Mets guys, especially guys like Mark Vientos, who are just going to constantly be trying to swing for the fences, but you're going against a ground ball pitcher. Peterson's numbers actually look sort of identical to Miles, but the problem is that he gives up so many fly balls that I think that this isn't going to work out really well for the Mets. So give me the Cardinals. I like him on the run line. Peterson was terrible in his first home start this season. And again, he's given up a lot of homers. So I'm going to take the Cardinals. I like them on the money line and reverse run line here for me.
Wind out to left as well in this one. So total of 8 could be a little bit of a look as well, at least for me. As I told Alex, Adam, even though this would be a good spot to go on St. Louis like you guys are, with all the time I spent in Missouri and obviously where my allegiances
you got ties to both.
There's no betting on the Cardinals in any circumstance in a game against the Mets, unless if the Cardinals are getting $9 pre-flop, which we know will never happen. All right, let's go to Detroit next. Tigers in first place in the division. Again, mediocre division at that, but they get to face the ace of the Royal staff, who has looked real sharp early, Cole Reagans. On the mound. He's $1.40 favorite on the road against Job, the fire-throwing young gun for Detroit here. Total 7.5 for this one, Adam.
So I like the under in this game. First of all, if you're more so that aside, neither of these offenses really impressed me and have been scoring. Tigers got off to a pretty hot start, cooled off a little bit. I think they scored 1 run in their previous series, maybe 2. Job has been pretty solid in his last 2 starts after kind of getting out of the gate, not really doing that well. But Cole Reagans is who I like. If you're looking at the prop market, this is a really good Cole Reagans ladder spot for his Ks. I went with 8, 9, and 10. He's had 10 or more in 3 straight starts. And the Detroit Tigers have the second worst K rate against lefties. It's 28%, but Cole Reagan's K numbers are right now elite. His swing rate, his chase rate, everything looks really, really good. This is good for the Royals up until September, when his velocity inevitably goes down like it did last season. But I think this is a pretty big smash spot for Cole Reagans on the K front.
Adam, let me ask you, because if people bet the full game under yesterday, they were pretty fortunate. I did go first 5, and I thought that was the better approach. With you liking this under, I was thinking about going right back at it. It is 4 here at the South Point, minus 115. You like first 5 under, or you just going full game, 7.5?
So for first 5 unders, here's a tip that I've learned that I've really leaned into, especially when the number's 4, like you said. You're sort of paying for push protection that way. I just take 3.5, and it's usually a pretty solid price increase that you get, and you get a lot more out of it. So I've been doing under first 5 3.5s. I've been doing just across the board in April, and they've been great because a lot of these bullpens don't know what they're doing, but pitchers are ahead of batters. So I would actually say take an alt first 5 under if you can find it. But look, at 7.5 at even money is, I still think, pretty solid. This is, one of those, like, again, this is probably something that ends up being, these are solid bullpens as well. This ends up being, even if it's a 3-3 game, you can kind of hope for no extra time, and we just somebody gets a walk off in the ninth. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with that under for the game, just because I like this Tigers bullpen a lot, and I don't trust either team to really hit.
Adam, let's go to the game. One of many games being played at a minor league stadium this year, and that's Tampa hosting the Yankees, who are playing in their own spring training. It's all a whole mess with all this. Rodon and Rasmussen, your pitching matchup here in this one. Yanks, $1.15 as the road team in their home spring training park in Tampa.
It's like not even a real fake home game for Tampa. It's a fake. It's actually a fake road game.
Correct.
What do I call it? The zombie? It's a zombie road game. That's what it is. It's a zombie home game. So I like Tampa on the money line. Carlos Rodon has made me more money this season than any other pitcher. You know why? Because he'll go over his K prop. He will pitch 7 innings. He is loving his Livan Hernandez era right now because he gives up about 3 walks and 4 or 5 runs, and he does his thing, and it's great. So he's got a 30% K rate. He's got actually almost as elite numbers as Cole Reagan's right now. Going with this 22.5% home run to fly ball ratio, which is Sean Bosky numbers. For those who know who he is, I know Jeff, you know some Sean Bosky, but yeah, I want the Rays here. This is a fun park to watch some games. Rasmussen's also had some solid history against the Yankees. He's only going to go 5. They'll immediately probably put in that bullpen, and the Yankees also just haven't really been hitting well on the road. I'm starting to wonder if they are last year's Royals, who many were convinced were stealing signs and doing things at home because the numbers were so different. So give me the Rays on the money line. I actually like Yandy Diaz to hit a home run today. He's been murdering lefties. He's got daddy-like numbers with Rodon, and you could probably still bet the Rodon Ks because it'll still hit regardless of him giving up 4 or 5 runs.
I'm going to be honest, Adam. I thought I was taking the Yankees, but now looking at my sheet, and they were even money yesterday. I don't really like them at that -115, and with everything you just said. So I'm going to stick with the over, I think, in that game. But another over I like today, and I believe you do as well. Let me know if you have any other ways of betting this game. Minnesota Twins, Braves, Paddock, and Bryce Elder right now at the South Point. The Braves -140, and the total is 8.
Yeah, it's funny whenever you see these 8s, they're always I'm sure like Chris or somebody could say it, but it always seems like it's we don't really know what's going to happen here. Well, I can tell you what I think is going to happen here because it's Bryce Elder against Chris Paddock. I think bet the alt over on this one. Paddock's off of actually his best start in the last year, and he still gave up a bunch of runs in the 5th. He can't go past 5 innings. If you can find it, take a lot of that the over hits, under outs. This is a really good spot for the Braves as well. I like Matt Olson to hit a home run, but give me the over, give me the alt over, the 11.5. You can find it as a solid number to be getting on this. Should be plus 350 around then, plus 380. And let's see some fireworks down in Atlanta with both these teams.
Adam, I'm curious. I don't know if you have any plays here, but the Dodgers and the Rangers do battle tonight in Arlington, and it is a dynamite pitching matchup. It's Yamamoto, it's DeGrom, it's potentially, I hate to say this on April 18th, but potentially a World Series preview with how weak the American League is. Would not shock me if Texas is there for the second time in 3 years. DeGrom has not looked like old school DeGrom so far early in this year, just still getting his feet wet. Yamamoto's been awesome. Dodgers a small road favorite here with a total of 7.5.
So selfishly, I'm very happy. I have a Yamamoto 200-1 K leader in my pocket, and he's looked fantastic. I also have way too much liability on Jake DeGrom just across the board. So he's been like, I'm a believer. If he pitches, when DeGrom pitches, he's generally the best pitcher in baseball. You also look at his splits. He's actually just gotten killed by lefties. Mm-hmm. He has a xFIP of 10 against lefties, but he's only got xFIP of 1.2 against righties. He's given up 4 home runs in his last 2 games against lefties. So I like Tommy Edman on the Dodgers to hit one out. But overall in this matchup, I'm really looking towards the towards Yamamoto on his K prop. He's just been so lethal there. Over 6.5 is plus money, and he's just had such great numbers. The Texas Rangers aren't really paying that much, but it's hard to deny it in this sort of matchup. And give me, though, at the end of the day, since Yamamoto's the only Dodger pitcher who seems to be able to go any distance, once they turn it over to the bullpen, we'll see what happens. But give me the Rangers, because I still believe in some of this Rangers magic that they had a couple of years ago. This team hasn't looked as great as we thought that they were going to be in the offseason. Again, I got to remind myself, it's only April 18th. We haven't even gotten to non-jacket season, and that is when we can start really, really thinking teams are good or bad. But give me the Rangers. I like them as the dog, but Tommy Edman probably hits one off of DeGrom.
One last one I want to get with you, Adam, and I know Alex at least has a look in this last game here.
Yeah.
We go to Houston. Padres take on the Astros. Padres have just been unbelievable so far at the beginning of the year. They're a nice-sized dog here, and it's not like there's a huge pitching advantage for Houston. It's hard for San Diego and Gusto for the Astros. $1.50 on Houston, plus 135 on the Padres. There are so many jokes to be made with the last name Augusto, but we'll see how this one plays out. I don't know if you have any plays, but if you have any thoughts on either of these teams, I'm curious, because San Diego's off to this amazing start, and the Astros are just kind of middling in mediocrity so far.
So Houston middling in mediocrity is what I expected. This lineup's not very good, and I don't know why you would take the oldest and shortest player on the team and say, hey, we're going to have you go from leading off and playing second base to going into the outfield that you've never played before. That's fine. Do whatever you want with Altuve. But the Padres team is interesting. I think, by the way, under the numbers, Gusto's got gusto. So I like him a little bit more than I like Hart, who has no heart. There you go. Got 2 puns in there.
Good job,
but the Padres, the problem with the Padres is that they're like this weird, I'm not going to buy, might even sell key pieces. I think that they should really lock up Michael King, and I think that they should sell high on Dylan Cease. They have like a bad contract with the Xander Bogaerts on there. They're not really going to be going after big pieces, but they got their core sort of locked up. So this is really their window that they have to do anything. I think things are a little bit inflated by how they've been on scheduling wise this season. They, anybody getting to go to Sacramento, which is West Coast Tampa Rays right now, you get to play in a minor league park. It sort of inflates things a little bit, but no play for me on the game. If anything, I actually would probably lean on a first 5 under, just because I do like Gusto a little bit, and this Padres team is a little bit different when they're kind of playing out of their elements.
I couldn't resist. I have to take that plus money with the Padres here, and I did resist when it was Shota Imanaga on the mound against them, and the Cubs beat them the first time that they've been beaten at home. So that I understood the line and why they were the dog, but this one I really don't. I think that the Astros are still just a little overvalued. So I do definitely like that plus money there.
He's Adam Rosenberg. The podcast is Dad's Bet Baseball as well. SGPN. It's Berg and Slippin' Jimmy over there doing great work on the pod. That's what SGPN. Of course, Adam with Rhythm as well. Adam, the pleasure as always, man. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and bring home some winners today.
I will. I'll see you guys soon. I'll come out in like a month or so.
Please. We're happy to have you in studio. Adam Rosenberg.
110 degrees. I need it. Let's do it.
No, we're not. Don't bring that into existence for at least another 3 months.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Do we need Adam's Stanley Cup matchup or maybe NBA?
Adam,
is he all chalk in NBA?
Adam, if you happen to have any,
it's OKC and the Celtics.
Yeah,
sorry.
I can't really blame you on that. And we know no Devils run for Adam Rosenberg.
No, I'm kind of it's the 2 teams I think that are coming out of the East are playing each other. So it's the Panthers and the Lightning. I think Panthers or Lightning are going to come out of that.
A flirty battle right out of the chute. Adam, thanks, buddy.
Those teams hate each other.
Oh, it's always is. So, Adam, thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Adam Rosenberg, everyone. Hey, Rosenberg on the tweets as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we look at tonight's playing games in the NBA, and we also will bring in Chris Andrews as well when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
We're back in at Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Big thanks to Berg for hopping on with us. Adam Rosenberg, that is. Always love chatting with him. Chris Andrews with us in 15 minutes. So we get to take a detour to the NBA. Again, we playoffs.
Yep.
We're going to be here all of next week, all of the next few months through this. By the way, if you're just joining us for the first time, Ticker Trivia, which has also been renamed the JR Invitational, is now live. So check on the bottom. Look for today's trivia question. And if you can beat JR, we will give you a virtual high five.
That's not true. We're actually giving a buffet to the winner at the end of this month. Right now, JR has a nice lead.
Well, I was going to say.
But people have a couple weeks to catch up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to catch JR. We'll give you the virtual high five, at least for now. And then be on the lookout in May, and then you can beat JR and actually get it yourself, more
That's right.
likely than not.
We're starting fresh.
So we go to the NBA. By the way, it's a hockey question today for anyone. And quite honestly, it is one that should be correctly answered quickly. Let's just go with that. That's at least my opinion of it. So we'll see if everyone does their job in the chat. And if anyone beats JR, again, virtual high five right there. All right. NBA. Let's go to the two games. Dean asked about it, and I'm going to be honest with you, Alex. I'm a little bit disappointed on how the Eastern Conference game has happened to go in the market here. Miami, who toasted Chicago the other night, the 10 seed, goes to Atlanta. Hawks got toasted themselves by the Magic. So this open Atlanta 1. It's now Miami 1 the other way. Total has been pretty stable. It's actually gone up 2 points from 219 to 221. I like the seed upset, but the betting favorite in the game now. I'm super disappointed that we were not able to get a reasonable plus price pre-flop with Miami. We're never going to get that. The best way to do it is maybe Atlanta gets that 7-0 or something like that, and you take a plus price in game on Miami. I'm going to take the better coach, and I'm going to take the team with more playoff pedigree in this game than not. And again, I hated how Atlanta looked the other day. And I know this is,
yes,
you have Young, who's a star, who's been to the Eastern Conference Finals in the recent past, but I like Miami here. But again, I'm not laying the worst of the number with the Heat.
I do like Miami above Atlanta too. And we kind of talked about it. We said whichever team won that game. I like Hero. I think he could do it again, especially in a one-game matchup here against Atlanta. I would lean first half under a little bit here, depending or kind of counting on their defense to slow down this Atlanta team, but no real play. I mean, I think those numbers are right on.
The one concern is always in unders with Atlanta is their defense is no bueno, to say the very least. The winner of this game will go to Cleveland to take on the Cavs. It will be a gigantic underdog. I will say I don't expect any crazy upset or anything on that, but if Cleveland plays Miami, that could be a little bit harder than you would like if you're the Cavs. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but you may have to expend a little more effort. If it's Atlanta, I think Cleveland runs them out. I think the Hawks just match up horribly.
Yeah.
Even though the Hawks have beat the Cavs this year, I think in a playoff series, I think Cleveland runs them out. So Much rather see the Hawks hold at serve if you're Cleveland.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up because I will say the Heat, they were held in that second half, I think 30-something points. So maybe not even go first half if we are trying for that under. Go full game.
Going to the Western Conference game here today. Mavs on the road at the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are 6.5 or 6.5. It's 6 here at the South Point. Total's 221. Now, I'd lean to taking the dog here. I would lean to taking the points. Now, I don't expect Dallas to win, but there is a real path in this game that Anthony Davis ends up being the best player in this game. Now, it's funny that the two playing 8, 9, 10 playing games legitimately were the exact same game where the home team no-showed in the first half and they couldn't get out of the hole in the second half. But look, this is just a scenario here where I'm going to take the guys with the championship pedigree with points, even in the road game with Davis and Thompson, who looked awesome on Wednesday night. Expect Memphis to win, but I'll take 6 here with the Mavericks on the road. Expect this game to be tight to the finish here.
I would want a little bit more here with Dallas. I'd want at least 8. I mean, the playing games were just insane with how many double-digit losses we had. So I would wait in game. And I think there's a lot of opportunity either side that you want to wait in game because we know how the NBA does go and it goes on these runs and you can get more points with Dallas if you just wait it out a little bit.
I will say Dallas actually played Oklahoma City much better than you would have ever imagined this year. And that's even in games without Doncic in it. So look, Dallas actually swept the season series from Oklahoma City, as crazy as that may sound. Now, again, if this ends up being the matchup, I don't anticipate that Dallas would pull the all-time stunner, and really it would be kind of funny more so than anything. By the way, Thunder swept the Grizzlies 4-0. If it is Memphis, it's a 4-game clean. I think it's a 4 or 5 at most gentlemen's or regular sweep. Dallas could give Oklahoma City some fits. Again, I'm not saying that they would pull the outright upset, but it's weird that the 10 seeds, I think, present bigger matchup issues than the 8 seeds do for the 1 seeds in the next round.
I just worry. I don't know how many games we're going to get out of Klay Thompson like we did.
That's totally fair.
I mean, they do have other pieces that could definitely jump in there. You know, we've seen it from PJ Washington and Derek Lively, and of course we have Anthony Davis, but yeah, it just makes me nervous there. So
just rattling through the lines for the games that are already scheduled for this weekend. Of course, the real playoffs begin tomorrow. They'll begin in Indiana, but we'll go in rotation number order. So we'll start with the Knicks, who are the early evening game against Detroit. 7 with New York, total 220.5. Again, the Knicks series price. The Knicks are pushing $4, which feels a little bit steep to me. Now, I'm not going to come back on the other end with Detroit, but not so sure the Knicks should be pushing $4 in the series. Well, could they end up winning the series? Of course, I expect them to win in 6. Is what I have. But for game 1, it would only be a look at Detroit. And on a series price, it would only be a look potentially at the Pistons, even though, again, I expect the Knicks to win the series.
I'm with you. I think that number is just a little bit too high on the Knicks here. We've definitely seen their flaws this year and the holes, but we know that Brunson he has a different level for the playoffs. So that is one thing I would be a little concerned about. Probably stay away from this first game, especially at the Garden. I mean, we know it's just electric, so nothing for me in that first one. Watch and see, but if you want to take a little bit of that plus money for the series and then find a way to kind of hedge out of it.
Indiana and the Bucks up next. Pacers are minus 90. Bucks at plus 170 on this one. Now, that's a series price. Game 1 in Indianapolis, 5.5 with the Pacers, with a total of 224 for this one. Now, Dame Lillard got cleared, but we still don't expect to see him in this series. If we do, it'd be later in the series, which if you're Milwaukee, you got to hang in tight through the first few games. If you get one in Indy, then this series could get interesting.
It really could. I like the Bucks here a lot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they have the best player on the court. So, I mean, I think the first 8 games with no Dame, it was a mess. The last 8, we've really seen Milwaukee figure some things out. So I think I would take a shot here for the Bucks to upset Indiana.
It's of the Eastern Conference dogs. So you're not taking the 8 seed against Cleveland. You're not taking Orlando at what is Orlando to win that series now? 20-1. Yeah, you're not doing that against Boston. This is the one where I could talk myself into it the most. Now, again, I just made the case for Detroit in the last series. That's just more of a price thing, more so than I actually believe that they can win the series. But I mean, again, I thought that price was too steep. Plus 40 on Milwaukee. Boy, I wish I was getting a little bit more.
Yeah.
If I was getting a little bit more, I would take the Bucks. And you know what? Giannis ends up being the best player in the series. Lillard comes back. Milwaukee could pull this upset. Remember, these teams played in the playoffs a year ago. Indiana won that one. But remember, Milwaukee just got so injured by the end of it that not much to do.
I mean, if Milwaukee wins that first game, you're not getting plus 140 anymore.
That's correct, Alex. You're getting a nice price on Indiana if you want to come back the other way, if you do that. All right, Denver and the Clippers. This has been the biggest series flopper. Nuggets opened the series favored. Now they're not. Clippers are $1.20 now. Actually, that's gone down a little bit. They were $1.30 for the series yesterday. Game 1 in Denver's 2.5 on the Nuggets. Tumultuous last few weeks with the firing of Michael Malone and their GM Calvin Booth. Jokic is still playing at an obscenely high level. Kawhi Leonard has looked, honestly, as healthy as he's had since the 2020 pandemic bubble. So it's been a while since he's looked this healthy. I like the Clippers, but I'm not betting the series price because I missed that plus price. Denver takes game 1. I'll come in on the Clippers after game 1 and take them to win the series.
I'm just going to start this one off game by game, and I'm going to take Denver, lay the points there at home. I think they're definitely being undervalued. I know the Clippers have really turned it on at the end here, but I do still have my concerns with Kawhi and James Harden there. So I like Denver, even with all the mess. I mean, talk about the best player on the court in that game and walking triple-double there. So, and I mean, they've been there, done it. It's 2.5. I think that's cheap for the home team here.
Now what I think is the best series on the board here, and that's the Lakers and the Timberwolves, where I think there's a legitimate argument that these are the second and third best teams in the Western Conference, at least as formed right now. Lakers a $2 favorite to win the series, plus 75 on the Wolves. Game 1, Lakers are 4-point favorites. Again, I expect the Lakers to win this series, but at plus 175 to win the series, there is an argument for Minnesota. Now, the bigger issue I have is I think the Lakers are going to win game 1, so I would just wait if you want Minnesota and see if you can get an even more bloated price with the Lakers up 1-0, which you will get a more bloated price. But this has the makings of a 7-game series where it's going to come down to which star, Luka, Edwards, LeBron, which one of those stars ends up making the biggest impact. And in the end, I actually think Luka Doncic is the one who makes the biggest impact here. I actually like the Lakers in 7. If you want to take an exacta result, I don't have an issue on that.
I'm with you, Jeff. I think that is the best way to play it, too. I mean, I do think the Lakers will get that first game. I think it's going to be when it gets farther through this series that their defense issues start to show up here. And I want to grab a better number on Minnesota to actually win that series. So, but I like that angle a lot. I think that total is a little bit too high in that first game too. I would look at the under.
And then the last 2 that we know already. Do we have to do much time on Celtics as a minus 6,000 favorite to win the series, 20-1 on Orlando? The upset's not happening here. It's just a matter of can Orlando win one game and get a gentleman's as opposed to an actual sweep.
I would give them that.
You give them one?
Yeah. I like this Orlando team. They're
oh, come on now.
Defense.
No magic for the Badger grind.
Grind it out, slow. They could take one.
I don't know. I'm not touching anything with this series. Boston, by the way, for just so we have it out there, 13.5 here at the South Point in game 1 with a total of 206. So that's kind of what you need to know. Super, super low NBA total at 206. So I expect the Celtics to, at worst, win this series in 5. They should be able to really, in all honesty, should be able to steamroll nicely into the Eastern Conference Finals before really being tested. I don't think the Pistons are there yet. if they pull the upset. And the Knicks, I just think they just match up horribly and have played awful against the top of the league this year. They haven't won a game against any of the top 4 teams in the NBA this year. And then the last one, Alex, Golden State and Houston. Rockets are a dog as the 2 seed, plus 60 on the Rockets, minus 80 on the Warriors. I actually like Houston in game 1, laying a 1.5 at home, which would mean we will wait and take the Golden State Warriors on the series price when we get a better price after they lose game 1, Alex.
I like it. And I like your angles on how to bet the NBA right now, and
that's scary for everyone if that's the case.
Getting a good series price, but we'll see. I mean, if Houston doesn't win that first game, then that takes you off the series.
Oh, yeah. Look, if Golden State wins this game 1, I think this is a 5-game series, maybe 6. If Houston could win 2 and 5, at least at home. Very simple for me through this whole tournament right now. If we don't get Oklahoma City against Boston, I will be very, very surprised. It's more likely that the upset occurs in the West. I give only one team an opportunity to win the East other than Boston, and that's Cleveland, just because they have home court in an Eastern Conference final. But I'll take the veteran leadership of Boston. I'll take the team that just won the title. I'll take them without home court to come out of the East. There are legitimate arguments for the Clippers and the Lakers to upset the Thunder. I think there are legitimate arguments there, but when it's all said and done, Clippers will get the Thunder after, more likely than not, or even if it's Denver, probably a 6 or 7 game series where they're really like spending a ton of energy and then have to play the best team in the NBA. Good luck. Lakers, I think Timberwolves and Warriors could be 2 7-game series. Even with the youth of Luka, you're going to need LeBron to be peak LeBron. And look, I know he has defied time more than any other athlete, basically, other than Nolan Ryan, more so than anything, or Julio Franco, if we're going to go really far in the bag there. But you have to imagine there won't be enough in the tank to pull an upset over OKC. So I go OKC. In Boston, you're laying prices to win their conferences. I do think the Thunder win their title, finally.
You do?
Yes. Home court will matter in that series. And they're the better team. The Thunder have been the best team in the NBA all year long, with the MVP of the season as well as SGA. When it's all said and done, I like the Thunder to raise that trophy for the first time.
I would lean to Boston. Same matchup, but the Celtics going back to back. I just think they've finally figured some things out, got over the hump, and so
there is no bad choice between those two. I think at that point it's going to be Oklahoma City or right now to win the title, it's Thunder are plus 160, so that would make the Thunder a slight favorite in a 7-game series at home against Boston, who are 2-1 to win the title right now. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll bring Chris Andrews in. Hockey, Stanley Cup playoffs begin tomorrow. Alex and I also have our Stanley Cup picks as well. We'll see if Chris has some stuff. Of course, what's going on upstairs with a lot of baseball. Good time of the year with the playoffs, and hockey and basketball going as well. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio rolls along next.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
We're back in at Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, and now joining us on the far end of the desk with the Clemente jersey right behind him.
Yeah, that's right.
Good friend, the sportsbook director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
It feels like we haven't seen you in a while, but I know.
Well, I stopped in yesterday.
You know what? Our schedule, this is the first week we've had the new Monday through Friday, and last week, obviously, with the move down to the new location, it just more also my brain has a little bit of mush with too many flights the last 2 weeks. So, but I'm here. That's all that matters.
So am I.
That's all that matters. And you're here as well. And that's all that matters. So I want to ask you about baseball first before we get into hockey. So we're amazingly about a month in. Crazy.
I know. Yeah.
Just how's the handle been so far? How's everything gone? And what are your thoughts so far?
It's been okay. You know, we changed the dime line because we thought maybe keeping everything on the nickel, see how that goes. And, last year I would say, with the dime line, we had virtually every serious baseball bettor in town, Now we get it sporadically, because we still have real good numbers on the dogs, I would say, because when in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel, or round it up to the nickel. So it's been okay, but we're 20 games, I guess, into the season, 21, 22. So we still got a little ways to go to see how this all pans out.
You've got a couple plays you like today with the system that you like to use, right?
The system, and I've been following it for years. And like I said, you're not going to knock them dead, but it's a good way to stay in action. Listen, not everybody out there has time to do all their handicapping and all that stuff. I'd like to play home dogs that won at home yesterday.
Okay.
We got 3 of them today. You usually get about 10 plays a week, something like that. So today, you got the Tigers, the Pirates, and the Angels. And the thing I like about the system, you're never going to get caught betting into a losing streak, obviously. You're never going to be laying a price, so you're not going to have to overcome that minus $2 favorite that lost. And it keeps you in action, like I said, and maybe you could kind of refine it a little bit, maybe bet first 5 innings, or, I always like to bet, if you like the home team, bet the home team and under, as a possibility. So it's a couple different ways to go, but something to watch where you don't have to spend a ton of time handicapping. You really just look for the scores from yesterday and try to find the best price that you can.
It's funny. I was looking at that game. I wanted to bet Logan Webb really bad, but I think that price is way too steep, and he's playing against the Angels, who are at home getting a pretty good plus price. So
like I said, you're always getting a price, and it's not a bad way to go.
Angels playing well, as we've discussed on this show a lot in the early goings, but it's so interesting early in the year just seeing the overreactions from some. The only we talked about Atlanta earlier on the show, where the Braves you don't want to overreact to 18 games,
right?
But it gets magnified when it's the first 18 that you go 5-13, and they're in the wrong league to be getting in
They are,
because the NL West looks like we could be all time. By the way, also the Rockies currently on pace for 130 losses. The Rockies also, just want to do this real quick. I apologize to our friends in Denver who are watching the show. The Rockies, who are 3-15. They are 18 games into the season, Chris. They are 11 and a half games out of first place already. And what I think might be more impressive, they are 8.5 games out of fourth place.
Oh, my God.
18 games.
Oh, my God. That's
a vision.
We knew they'd be bad,
But this is
That's really bad.
so bad.
Well, it's funny, yesterday we were, I forget whatever day it was, we had a lot of White Sox money. It seems like the White Sox, and I was thinking, well, they're going to win 50 games. Then I said, well, last year they didn't. They only won like 40, right?
Your win total was 53 and a half, and
Yeah.
that was a 10-game improvement.
Yeah, right.
White Sox, by the way, get another crack at the Red Sox, who they actually took a series off of last weekend.
Yeah, they're not
80.
playing that bad, probably a little.
They're 4-14, so I guess it's all relevant.
I kind of liked them today, that plus 180.
Plus 80 on the White Sox here. Real quick, Alex.
My last play?
The Dodgers and the Rangers. Adam mentioned it earlier, but you do have a play on this game with the Dodgers on the road.
I do, and I have not been a part of the Dodgers run line yet, which I'm sure you're seeing a lot of this year.
Yeah.
But I am going to jump in today because Yamamoto has been fantastic, and I think this price is based off of old DeGrom. We haven't seen it yet. So
okay. What do we have the price?
So you have $1.35 on the Dodgers and plus 20 on the Rangers on the take-back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that plus 120 run line here.
No real blame on that.
Yeah.
And Yamamoto's been arguably the best pitcher in baseball so far the first month, too. The stuff is electric.
What was that run at the beginning of the season? The Dodgers had won 8 out of 9 run lines.
It was.
It's kind of smoothed out a little bit since then, but still, those always hurt us when they come in,
Well, they covered 2 out of 3 run lines against the Rockies. And somehow the one that
was in the price though with the Rockies. That's not the worst thing.
Yeah, not too bad on that. All right, let's go to hockey. Chris, I'm just curious your thoughts on how the bracket shook out.
Well,
you got 80. Obviously, we got games tomorrow, which I'm very confused by the way that NHL scheduled some of these first round series. The Floridian series doesn't go until Tuesday, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
and then. For us now, I don't want to complain, but Vegas playing 8:05 start on Tuesday night local time.
That's a little late.
Poor people in the Twin Cities who have to be up till at least 1 a.m. on that. But what are your thoughts on the bracket? What are your thoughts here?
Well, I like the old format better.
I
the
100%
1-8. I mean, and I don't know anybody that actually disagrees with me. Except Gary Bettman, I guess he'd be the one.
Well, or a team that happens to be in a weak pod that happens to get this.
That's pick and choose. But I got a couple games. Yeah, we've had some movement. Got a little bit of money on the Devils. We had a lot of money on the Maple Leafs. And I made the joke yesterday. It's my annual rite of spring. This could be the year for the Maple Leafs. I think I've been saying it for the last 25 years.
Oh, no.
Why break the streak now? I mean, they are pretty good. I mean, what do I have? I think 12-1 to win the Stanley Cup. By the way, before we move on, and I'll mention some basketball futures too.
Yeah.
Shop everybody, but I got some pretty good prices on 2 real good contenders in the NHL. I think it's the Hurricanes. Where am I at? I had a bunch of notes here. Yeah, between the Hurricanes and the Panthers, 2 very legit teams. I got them both 8-1, and that's probably the best price you're going to find on either one of those. Now, I don't want to.
Oh, the Hurricanes.
I already picked the Maple Leafs, so I can't be saying that. But I mean, these are 2 very legit teams with good prices, and it's one of those deals where you have to look at each individual book. You may be in a position where I could use a bet on either of those, and we got some other teams that we're looking to dodge. Most of our prices are right in line with everybody else. But I thought that was, as I was going through my notes today, 8-1 on both of those. I think they're the best prices around on both of those teams. And like I said, they both are, they're going to be right in there, I think, so.
Yeah.
Carolina is the biggest favorite in round 1. Also, again, you said you took some money on the Devils. I would imagine that was just more of a price grab more so than anything.
What they take? They took $250, I'm not upset at our position.
I would say they're in pretty good shape on that for sure. Series prices, Chris, is there, other than the Devils, was there another one that got hit series-wise? I know you said they're betting the Maple Leafs, which scares me a little bit.
That's probably the biggest one. We had a little bit of money on the Kings against the Oilers. I'm not upset at that position either. I don't mind having the Oilers going for me.
I don't blame you.
They bet the Knights. Again, no surprise. We probably moved that a little quick because you could see all the money coming in on that side. But, I love, growing up in Pittsburgh, I got to see some of the great, great hockey teams. So I love the Stanley Cup playoffs. I like the old format better. But every time any two teams square off, it's great. And somebody told me this when I was just a young, probably like 18 or so. And since that time, I've been to Kentucky Derby. I've been to World Series games. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to NBA playoff games. Been to Final Fours. Guy told me, he says, you'll never see anything as intense as a Stanley Cup playoff game. And I've been watching it over the years. And well, I'll tell you what, you go into the corner, you're going to get either checked or you're going to get the other guy's going to finish that check every time. And you better have your head on a swivel because, these games are intense.
I want to ask you real quick about Colorado and Dallas, actually, because Alex and I discussed this yesterday with Dallas, who really limped to the finish line in the regular season with home ice, with a goalie advantage, too, I think, in this series. And Colorado's a game one favorite at -130, and they're -170 on the series price here. Have there been number takes on Dallas, or has that gone the other direction?
It has not moved yet as of this morning.
I did just get a notification on my phone that they will be without Jason Robertson to start this series.
Yes, Jason Robertson will not play in at least game one, and probably will be longer based off of that report. Again, that's an interesting one. But again, we know Colorado, the talent has never been the issue with Colorado.
Never.
We've known that.
I think Winnipeg is another team, and I don't have a great price on them. I think I'm 8-1, but that's another team you might want to look at. But it's such a crapshoot in these Stanley Cups. There's very few teams that are eliminated.
So let's go to our brackets.
Yeah.
Alex and I made our Stanley Cup.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So by the way, for you were in here, NBA wise, Alex and I both have chalk getting to the finals.
Well, let me get to that.
Yeah,
too.
you can do
I
that.
have that in my
please.
notes too, because right now, and I've looked around, the two chalks, I think I have the best prices in the world, and I raised them both up a little bit this morning. I'm at plus $2 on the Celtics. I think I raised that yesterday, and then I'm at plus 165 on Oklahoma City. I could use both chalk. But I'll tell you what, if it's a chalk final, I'm in good shape. And I think it'd be a great final, too.
Oh, yeah.
You make Oklahoma City a slight favorite?
Slightest.
I think so, too. Yeah.
Just, in that scenario, home court will matter.
I think so,
that is a great home floor in Oklahoma City for the Thunder. And it wouldn't shock me if the home team won all 7 games in that series.
Really, and it's a good team. Not just. They've been good. We had them pegged from early in the year, so I never got much play on them. I got a lot of play on the Lakers, especially. I didn't have much respect for them. All of a sudden, they get Luka, and I thought it was an April Fool's joke when they told me that he was going there. And I didn't have much respect for the Golden State team until they got Jimmy Butler. And I think Jimmy Butler. I probably said it on this show. I think he's kind of a nut off the court, but on the court, he's one of my favorite players in the league. I love his game. He's just a terrific player, and I think he was a great addition to this Warrior team. I really didn't see that trade coming until it was kind of too late. I didn't have a lot of faith in this Warrior team until they got Jimmy Butler. Now, I'm not sure how much faith I have in them, but they're live. Somebody's, it's not always chalk, obviously. I think they're live.
Betting favorite is a 7 seed here against the Rockets in round 1.
That's that tell you.
Yeah, it tells you a lot.
Yeah, but I think I got good prices on those two chalks. If you're, we have futures better out there looking. I think you're gonna have a pretty good chance of winning with either one of those two.
I really would be floored if it's not one of those two that wins the title. I really would be.
Well, I hope to not floor you.
I hope you win on it. Well, I hope you guys
what about Cleveland? Do you have a?
Cleveland, we're okay on Cleveland, but I think my price is probably right in with everybody. 6-1.
Yeah, you're right.
You might see some
right
650, or you might see some 550. But I'm right in there. But I think Cleveland's dangerous. You mentioned
home court.
They're going to have home court against the Celtics. I don't think that'd be a huge stunner if they pull it off.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I'd like Oklahoma. I'd have much rather see Oklahoma City play the Cavs in the final from the perspective of the one Oklahoma City ticket I have floating back from October.
Yeah.
For
me personally, though, I think OKC and the Celtics would be a great betting series.
It would be an amazing series. It would be an amazing series. All right, hockey. Alex, you want to go first on your bracket, or do you want me to go first? If you want me to go first, I'll go first.
Yeah, if
I'll
you
go
don't
first.
mind going first.
All right. Well, I've tipped my hand here today. I've tipped my hand on how I'm going with this bracket, and I'll just be quick on getting to the final. I have a monster upset right out of the gate. I have the Canadians upsetting the
I
Capitals.
like them too.
So, we're going to have a very big disagreement in a second with the person sitting in between the two of us.
Who?
But I have the shocker. I just have not something with this Washington team all year. Obviously, the Ovechkin angle has been amazing that he's still able to do what he did after breaking his leg earlier in the year as well.
That's hockey players,
And
baby.
He still did it. Logan Thompson, I thought, played above his head this year. I like Montreal. That's the biggest upset I have in round one.
Yeah.
I have Carolina handling New Jersey. I have a betting upset with Tampa over Florida, but that series
That's
is a
essentially
pick, basically.
Yeah, boy, that's a great series for round one. Are you
Amazing
kidding me?
series for
That's
round one.
ridiculous.
See, that's the one positive with the format. You can get a matchup like that, even though those two teams could very easily have made the Eastern Conference Finals in the old
Either
format.
one of those could have the Stanley Cup in a
100%.
month.
And they
you
still
know.
may.
Yeah.
And then Toronto, it's a tricky matchup with Ottawa. Again, Ottawa hasn't been in the playoffs in a decade, first time there. But I do like Toronto there. In the West, I like seed chalk, but not betting chalk. I like Dallas to upset Colorado, and I like LA to upset, in the betting perspective, the Oilers. VGK, Winnipeg handle the business. The one seeds in the West get to the conference final. VGK beats Winnipeg to get back to their third final in their second in 3 years. In the East, I have Montreal upsetting Carolina also.
Wow.
Yeah. You're gonna see what I'm doing here in a second, Chris.
Okay. That's a wow for me.
You're gonna
Okay.
see what I'm doing in a second. I have Toronto beating Tampa in round two,
Whoa.
which sets up Toronto and Montreal in the Eastern Conference Finals, which good
my
luck for
God.
everybody in Eastern
Oh
Canada
my
with
God,
that.
that would be.
If that
I got to tell
happens.
you, I think that would be fantastic.
That would be the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever. If it ends up happening again, it would, boy, what an amazing price I could get on that if I got Montreal to go to the Eastern Conference Finals with a little rollover with how big of a dog they'll be in both of those series every single
sure.
game.
Yeah.
And then we go to the East Final. Why not this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs? They're very talented.
Yeah.
I'm actually more concerned about round one than I am anything.
Really?
Because that is just, that Ottawa team is talented. They have good goaltending, sneaky matchup in round one. And I mean, there's the Ontario Bowl, right? I mean, there's something to be said about that. And I just think the Floridian teams are going to beat the crap out of each other for 7 games. So I don't know. And Florida, we've said this, like, Florida's been in the Cup final the last 2 years. How much do you have left in the tank? At some point, when does that hit E? Because you've just played so much hockey over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But I have Toronto in the final, and Ryan, you can reveal it. Dwayne Colucci got on me when I mentioned it last week. I do not care. Love you, DC. But I am on the Toronto Maple Leafs to finally bust the streak. And not only bust their own streak, which is going back to the 60s, busting the Canadian streak, which is over 30 years now.
From the 90s,
From 93.
93?
93 with the Canadiens.
Yeah.
I almost said 94, but that, of course, was the Rangers over Vancouver. But I'm on Toronto. I'm doing
Well,
it.
you've been heavily influenced by me and Colucci.
Yeah.
You really need to seek some help.
I need to.
You know that.
I'll talk to my shrink this week about it, Chris. But I got it. Yeah, you can get a 75-1 exact out there on Toronto over VGK. So there were 75-1 bets to be made. I'll just say that, Alex.
Oh, there definitely are. It was crazy though, seeing the difference from Vegas beating Toronto.
Yeah, it was a $40 difference at the book that we saw.
Then Toronto
35-1 on
beating
Vegas over Toronto and 75-1 on Toronto over Vegas.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Good, Jeff. I should have followed. I like how you have Montreal beating with those 2 upsets. I could have done that same thing with Ottawa, but
You could have.
I didn't. I didn't even take Ottawa for the upset. I want to so bad. Olmark I think he's such a good goalie. And then they have a Kachuk. Remember, they got Brady there who is fired up from losing that Team USA, right? So I think they do. I definitely think they make that series interesting. So I'll go through. I'll start right there. I did take Toronto to move on and to beat Ottawa. I'm going to find a way, though, to bet them, whether it's going to 7 or plus 1.5 games or something, because I do think that they can make that a very good series. Under that, I do have Tampa Bay beating the Panthers. I just think this team has just been built since their run 2 years, and winning back to back. They've kept it intact, and they are still a really good team.
So you like Florida or Tampa Bay?
I like Tampa Bay.
You like Tampa?
I
Okay.
do.
Well, I'll tell you, that's two very good, very well-run franchises,
Oh, yeah.
really.
Yes, it is.
Pretty
And-
amazing for the Panthers, who for a decade really lost their way, but now have just turned it around pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I have Florida nice size of Tampa Bay, so it's not really going off of power ratings. But I will tell you, too, I was just looking, and I think it's pretty funny, and it's been like this in my power ratings for a while. I have 17, and I do it off of a money line power rating, right, that are negative. 17 teams, and then it's just a clear cut. Calgary down that is, going into what we would say is a dog. So it's been that way. It's a clear cut, good 16 teams, and then the rest are kind of under there, and it's fallen throughout the year. But so going to the bottom in the East, I do have the Capitals. I actually probably will take them for a sweep or even a gentleman's sweep here. I just think, like my dad said yesterday, the Canadians have been pretty fortunate. They've had an easy schedule down the stretch to make it into the playoffs, and the Caps have been good all year.
Yeah, but they've been playing good the last couple months. They really have.
Yeah, they have. They're feisty. I don't know.
Okay.
And Sam Montembeau has been really good. Has he been here? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get out of him in the playoffs. So I trust the Caps. Even when Ovechkin went down, they didn't stop winning.
Yeah.
When he had a broken leg. So they've got multiple pieces. It's not just the Ovi factor there. So I do have the Hurricanes beating the Devils, going to the other side for round one. I pretty much I'm all betting chalk here. I have the Jets. I have the Avalanche. I just think how the Stars have been playing as of late. I think the Avs will get it done here. And I do like the upgrades that they made. I like Wedgwood and I like Mackenzie Blackwood there. So I think they'll be okay with goalies. Golden Knights beating the Wild. I'll probably take a sweep or a gentleman's sweep in that one as well. It's just a bad matchup for Minnesota. And then I have the Oilers beating the Kings. I just don't trust the Kings on the road as much. And I think the Oilers can get it done for at least one series here. Sticking with the West with that side right there, I do have the Knights beating the Oilers. And I actually have the Jets beating the Avs. So
we both have the 2-1 seeds.
We both have the
Jets,
2-1 seeds.
Jets are going to be tough, I think.
Yeah, they're really good, especially defensively and throwing teams off of their rhythm. Going to the other side, I do have Toronto beating the Light. No, I don't. I have the Lightning beating Toronto. I think they just start to get on a hot streak there, and I have the Capitals beating the Hurricanes. That's going to be a very tough series there. I have the Capitals beating Tampa Bay, and I have the Knights beating the Jets. A rematch from the Knights' first year, and the Knights get revenge and win their second ever Stanley Cup.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I've actually been saying it since probably October, November that I could see a rematch from that first year with those two.
Boy, that's the thing in hockey. I mean, everybody's live.
Really?
Geez.
Really?
Be a great thing. I will say again for Canada, this is their best shot to win one in a. I know obviously they got Edmonton to the final, but you're in a 3-0 hole. You're supposed to lose that, even though you got the game 7.
Yeah, even though they made it very interesting.
But the Jets won the President's Trophy. You have 3 on the East side, which that's all you can get out East. You can't get more than 3 out East. So you got them all there. Just if they somehow snuck Calgary in, you would have had 6, which would have been a lot more than usual. Usually you're at 3 or 4 at most on the Canadian side. So see how it all plays out.
Well, another interesting note here, when you look down at the futures, who are the longest shots on the board? Okay, the Devils. We have them losing in the first round. I think that's probably fairly accurate. But other than that, it's the Canadians. Now, Jeff has them going all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
The East final. The East final.
The East final. Okay. But, they're 50-1. So you're looking down at these prices. Everybody's kind of, legit. At least a legit shot. Can Fleury get one more cup, with the Wild? The Blues have been a little inconsistent. I think I got them 30-1, something like that.
Still, they have Binnington, who's been playing so good.
Yeah. They scare me a little bit.
Yes.
When did they win the cup? What was it, about 4 years ago, something like that? Not that long ago.
Yeah.
What was it, Ryan?
It was 19.
It was 19. I think it was our first year at the
that's fine.
ballpark.
No, what, with St. Louis?
Yeah.
St. Louis beat Boston at 19.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's they have a decent pedigree. They scare me a little bit. I don't do so good with them, so kind of rooting against them. But it just shows you. I mean, I think this is wide open. But you could play that statement again next year, or in years past. It always seems like it's wide open in the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll reveal the trivia answer, and we'll also get Alex's whiteboard here on a Friday. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books, 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
We're back in Sports by the Book, wrapping things up here on a Friday. Of course, we're back Monday, every weekday, 10 a.m., right here on the desk, right here on the YouTube channel. Shout out to our friend Joseph Frieda in the chat with a super chat. Thank you very much for watching. Joey B, Attila's in there, Nick, JR, a whole collection in the chat today. The trivia question today, Chris Andrews, you're on the board here. Which decorated NHL star played his last game in his career on this date in 1999?
Is that Mario Lemieux?
It's a good guess.
What? Give me the
He's
parameters.
Canadian.
Give me the question again.
1990 and 1999.
Played his last.
Which NHL star played his final game on this date in
Final game, not just regular season.
Final game ever.
Final game ever. 1999.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be Jaromir Jagr, would it?
No, it was
Ron Francis.
No, it was a teammate of Lemieux's internationally.
Oh my God. Trying to think back. Lemieux's Wayne Gretzky.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes. Wayne Gretzky was the
He didn't
answer.
make the playoffs that year.
No,
huh?
he did not. He was on the Rangers.
Yeah.
Penguins.
Okay.
Yeah, they.
It's funny because I made sure I took my kid to go see him when he was with the Rangers. I think they had a game, I want to say in Sacramento or something like that. I said, you got to see this guy. This is one player you got to see before you. There's a few I made sure that they saw.
Gretzky, of course, had his record broken a few weeks ago by Alexander Ovechkin, who broke the all-time goal record. JR got it first. So JR continues his lead. Nick and Joey B also got it as well, but JR beat him. So JR adds to his cushion here in the month of April. All right, let's go to the whiteboard here on a Friday, April 18th. How is it already April 18th? Except you keep telling us.
Life goes by fast. I turned 69 years old the other day. Life goes by.
belated birthday.
Yeah.
We missed
The
your
life
birthday.
goes by fast. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's Well, boy, that's it's I don't even know how to say what I'm thinking right now, because you've said to us on multiple occasions, like, just don't blink. Like,
I was running a sports book when I was 25. I was like, oh, this is the Wonder Boy, All these years later, I'm not the Wonder Boy anymore.
Hey,
let me tell you.
Hey, but you're still here, and that's
Still
all that
here,
matters.
I know.
Chris. That's all that matters. Whiteboard here on a Friday. Alex, you got a pretty nice
Look at that.
a pretty nice looking whiteboard here today with a round robin and more on this one.
Well, that's right. I did want to kind of break it down exactly how I am going to bet these games. So I am going to do a round robin, probably 3 away. I wanted 4 games that I really liked. So 2 of them happen to be underdogs. So I'm taking the Cardinals plus 150. I'm taking a total, and I might switch this for I don't know. I can't actually, because I have the Dodgers on here. Yankees, I'm taking this total over 8.5. I'm going Dodgers, just money line on this round robin, minus 135. And then I'm taking the Padres on the road, getting this plus 135 against Houston. So I do like all of them as single bets as well, but I'm just going to tie them up. And then here's the single bets that I'm going to do separate, because I probably will take that Yankees over out now. But I'm going to go Dodgers run line here, because I do like them. I also like their team total over, which is plus 110. So if you don't want to do the run line, that's just another way I think you could play that, because I like that game over as well. And that's why I didn't put, that's what should have been there instead of Yankees. Last but not least, I like the Twins and Braves over 8. Really a brutal pitching matchup. And even though those 2 offenses have struggled, I think we're going to see a lot of runs in that one. I'm going to dabble a little bit in the NBA again. So just everybody beware. This is just what I'm doing. And it's definitely smaller than my baseball bets or my hockey bets. So I'll just say that. Bucks, I'm going to take a little bit of that series price, plus 140. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Nuggets in game 1. And then I really like this Minnesota and Lakers, that whole game under 216.5.
There you go. A double-sided whiteboard here today. On a Thursday.
A lot of series bets on the Bucks.
Yeah.
With Lillard coming back. That moved, I want to say about 30 cents, maybe even more than that.
Good.
It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs officially begin tomorrow. Playing games, of course, tonight in the NBA. All right, Chris, thank you.
Hey, great.
Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
Great being back on the desk here.
It's great to see you. It's always great to have you in, as you know. We're looking forward to seeing you all summer long as baseball continues to rattle along and all these playoffs over the next 2 months. Jerry, Sean, Drew Dog, Ryan, Vince, and thank you all as always. If you're looking for content out of the studio, make sure you tune in over the weekend. South Point Studio, Race Day Las Vegas, of course, 7 a.m. Gets you ready for the day in horse racing. We are approaching the Kentucky Derby. So
I think I have my horse.
You have your horse.
I think so.
I'm gonna let you hold that in pocket for a little bit longer.
It's too early to give it out, because I'm telling you that I always think about Charlie Whittingham. If you guys probably don't know, an old trainer, trained Sunday Silence, Ferdinand. He says these horses are like strawberries. They're only good for a couple days. So you got to watch. Horses, they hurt their feet. They get infections, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not ready till probably Thursday before the Derby to release it.
Make it official.
There we go. So Race Day Las Vegas, Saturday, Sunday, Sports South Point Studio channel. We're back on Monday right here on the Sports by the Book channel, 10 a.m. Alex and I will be joined by Dwayne Colucci as well on Monday. So be looking forward to that. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. This has been Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.